Promotion and relegation is one of the most debated topics in Australia to do with football. But is it possible with Australia's current footballing landscape? So I think it can work, but just not at the moment. Because one factor is Australia's geography. Australia isn't like England in terms of you can get from one side of the country to the other in a 4-hour bus ride, because it's a very big country. And all of the cities, therefore, the football clubs are also spread out across all these cities. So to get from game to game is just not sustainable for a second division club at the moment, and the travel costs are just not affordable for them. And that's not even mentioning the other problem about how relegated A-League clubs even survive in the second division if they can't survive as it is. Western United liquidated just last year, the Mariners have liquidated their academies. So that really asks the question, how would they fare if they were relegated? So now, with me saying all that, you probably think that promotion and relegation isn't even possible in Australia, but that's far from the truth, because these reasons is actually why the Australian Championship was created, to kind of bridge this gap between the A-League and the NPL, and then maybe one day it would be strong enough to actually be a national second tier that can support all of these factors. So it's possible, just not at the moment. For promotion and relegation in Australia, we need it in a football sense, because without it, there's no repercussions for being at the bottom. You get mediocrity, you get complacency, and with that, with no repercussions for being bad, you see decreases in quality, because in a season, if you don't have enough money and you can't really get the good players in your squad, you can't afford it, you don't mind if you spend a couple seasons at the bottom of the table, because you know you can kind of rebuild your money and get back up. But that really causes so much decline in quality that it's just so unhealthy for the league and for everybody watching it, and for the financial standpoint, because nobody wants to watch it. It's also bad in an entertainment point of view, as I was saying, because the quality decreases. It gets worse. The best teams from a second division get promoted to replace the worst teams to the top division, and keeps the A-League, the top division, as good as it can possibly be. You don't want it to be too early, because if you do it too early, you risk, and if you do it at the wrong time, you risk another football crisis in Australia like the NSL, where there was no money, there was ethnic clubs, which aren't really a problem nowadays, but back then they were. All these factors can combine for disaster, and certainly if you did it at this current point in time, you would get that, and you definitely need some bit of time to kind of build football in Australia and kind of bridge that gap with the national second tier or the Australian Championship. But in the future though, I think promotion and relegation in Australia is one of the kind of hottest prospects and ideas for it, and it's probably one of the best bets for growth for football in Australia, and then therefore the quality of football in Australia, and then therefore the fan base and the finances of it, which can continue for the game to grow, which is, in the end, is what everyone wants. Everyone wants the best for football in Australia. And even all these different conflicting arguments and ideas, in the end, everybody's trying to get to the end goal of football being as good as it possibly can be in Australia. That's why over-criticism is bad, as I was talking about in a past video. And it's why I think everybody needs to kind of find a kind of consensus on an idea and stick with it. And I think promotion relegation can be that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to stick around for later updates and videos, and thanks for watching.